Good morning, everybody. How are you today? It's a beautiful Monday, May the 19th. And today's going to be an important day in the garden because Danielle and I are planting the celery and celeriac, which would be good. We have a drizzle right now, but I don't mind working in drizzle. I just don't like it to rain on the camera equipment. So otherwise, it's going to be a beautiful day. Yesterday we didn't work in the garden at all because what did we do? Oh yeah, I worked with the baby chickens, and then I did something else inside, but I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. Today's a new day. I want to show you a couple of interesting developments though. So let's get to that. The onions are looking pretty good. We transplanted these, oh golly, 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. They're looking really good. Next to them we have a bunch of weeds which have to come out. I actually had a line of weeds coming out right here too, but I've been conducting a campaign to get rid of those weeds. There's the bench down there that I like to use for that activity. This is pretty interesting. Some of the tomato plants have blossoms on them already. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, you shouldn't have your tomato plants in the garden quite yet. You could still have a frost. Well, we do put them in early, I do admit that. But we have other tomato plants in reserve in case we run into trouble. And we make sure to watch the weather and take good care of them. I did a lot of weeding over here the other day. 2 days ago, I think. And I want to show you the cabbage. This is an early Jersey Wakefield cabbage variety. And then Danielle has another variety of cabbage that she'll pop in the ground when these are done. So that's going to be exciting. Of course, our garlic is looking really well, which I'm sure everybody else's is. But over here, I want to show you the carrots. There they are. There's a few carrots coming up already. And there are a couple weeds around them. That's normal. But yeah, we have our carrots coming up. Very excited about that. I put a couple logs on the fire before I came down. Yes, we have our wood stove running. It really makes the house a lot more cheerful to have it somewhat warm. We use our wood stove for about 95% of our heat. And we use it for about 75% of our cooking. During 3 months of the summer, we do use our summer kitchen. This is our seed growing plot. Leeks, of course. And then over here, we're trying to grow seeds from a beet. Mostly have a couple beets in the ground, but that's the only one that's making any headway. Over here we have the 3 carrots for seed. They're doing really well. Those 3 carrots, that's the open pollinated Jean de Dube from France. And then over here is what I wanted to show you though. This is our onion variety that we're growing seed from this year. And I wanted to show you one item over here. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. I don't know if you can see it, but in that onion, between the leaves, is the beginning of what's going to be a seed pod. It's a little bit early actually for that, but it's good to see anyway. Danielle came down yesterday, I think it was, or was it the day before, and she took a lot of stinging nettle out of this patch, and she made a huge vat of stinging nettle soup with some chicken broth that she made. But I want to show you this apple tree. Look at all the blossoms on that apple tree. I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that we get a number of apples off of it, because I like to bake with apples. This is where we planted the flax the other day. I think it was about a week ago, not quite a week ago, and it's starting to come up. Let's check the potato area yet again. You're probably sick and tired of hearing about the darn potatoes, but it's a big thing for me, so just bear with me for a minute. I'm walking on the patch that I want to plant the next row on. You can see my footprints. I'm thinking that I can probably rototill the vast majority of this row that you see my footprints on, down to right about where I'm standing, right about here. And then from there on down, as you can see, it's pretty wet. We still have puddles everywhere. I won't be able to go that far, so I'm thinking about, it won't be today, maybe tomorrow at the earliest, I would rototill down to where I'm standing or thereabouts, and I would back the machine down this row. I would back down this row to about where I'm standing, attach my plow attachment, and then make a furrow going on the way back out. Because as you go out toward the beginning of the row, it gets much better for the tiller. But this other row over here, that is out of the question entirely. It's just one big wet soggy mess. So that's going to have to wait until probably the end of the month. What a mess. I've never had this happen before.
You can see this is a really nice root system on the celery seedling plants, and a friend of mine who's in the know gave me this container of, it's called myco powder, and you put a speck, a little goes a long way, on the roots. Now you're not going to get all the roots, so I'm just guessing and putting a little dusting. I have yet to do some research and find out exactly how that invigorates the roots, but we will see, and we'll see the result at the end of the season. All right, we're doing a spacing of 12 inches, which seemed to work pretty well last year, but we're going to offset, you know, sort of on the diagonal to give them a little more breathing space, and makes it a little easier when it comes to harvesting. Because one thing that we learned last year, that as soon as stalks start to form, you take a very sharp knife and just go around the base and just cut through the outer stalk, the biggest ones, like the biggest one or two from each plant, and that's your harvest. And it encourages more growth from the center, and it'll just keep producing stalks all season, which is great. It's like going shopping every day. Except it's yours. And you know where it came from. Okay, so here comes another plant. Boy, everything is so wet that, look at that. That's impressive.
Okay.
Compost in the bottom, and in it goes. And then, just bring in some soil. Oh boy, this is really wet. Wow, that's really something. Look at the roots.